Okay, comment ako.
Chat box.
Yung chat box natin.
Nag-comment na ako.
Magana siya, men!
Nice.
Ito na. Wayip!
Ayop.
Naman na, Silver J.
Ako muna.
Share pa ako eh.
Wait lang, nag-share din ako eh.
Oo na nga, ayop ka. Oo na.
Thank you guys for having me, pare. Actually, magkakaibigan na kami ever since before. So, sobrang reunion to. Sobrang saya ko, pare. Sobrang saya.
Parang gano'n na.
10 years tayo, pare. 10 years,
actually.
actually.
Oo nga.
10 years nga, oo nga.
Sobrang lala. Tanda ko na, gago. Nagawa ko sa buhay ko.
Hanep. Okay, anyway,
Ayop.
mga pre, kasi naputol yung intro namin, Silver J, bagal mag-share eh. Kamusta mga pre? Okay, ito pre. Kamusta mga pre? And welcome back. Na joke lang, kala mo stream ko no? Pero kamusta mga pre? Ako si Evander, streamer ako. Miyembro ako ng Talong Gaming. Makipagkwentuhan kami kayo dito sa amin sa TT. Kung may ligay sa TT, let's go. May ligay ako sa TT, men.
Gano'ng kalaki? Gano'ng kalaki? Gano'ng kalaki?
Yung mga kames, yung mga ganun. Yung mga ganun.
Hey, stop.
Yung mga ganun.
Ay. The joke.
Ayip!
Kumusta guys? Silver J here. Ako pala si Silver J. Isa rin daw akong streamer ng Talong Gaming. And salamat sa pagnood sa amin.
Para ba, ano? Ganun, men. Yung gusto ko yung gawa ganun, no?
Oh, yes.
Sa wakas. Tama.
Initial reaction ko, pare, I just can't believe that the Snyder Cut is real. Kasi, nung 2017 and 2018, so, di ba lumabas yung Justice League? And the movie was hindi naman poorly received, pero very mixed reviews siya. Alam mo yun? Parang a lot of people really didn't like it, pero a lot of people were okay with it. But there was just a small percentage of people that actually did love the movie. And then after nung initial release niya nung months na yon, nung 2017, nagkaroon ng parang online movement yung fans, which is yung Snyder Cut nga. And then around that time, actually, so nung time na yun, nung 2017, I was also following some other movie junkets online that do report mga Hollywood news and whatnot. And then, they did cover and feature itong Snyder Cut na movement na ginagawa ng fans around that time. And actually, around that time, a lot of people weren't really a lot of people weren't really taking it seriously in a sense na hindi mangyayari to. Alam mo yun, yung parang, this is just, parang, alam mo yun, every time na merong malaking movie or comic book movie na lumabas, there's always going to be like a group of fans na magsasabi na, do this, do that, parang, alam mo yun, parang, and that's what the Snyder Cut was being perceived as back then. Na a lot of people were saying na like this is not really gonna happen. A lot of movie film junkets, a lot of movie reporters weren't really taking it seriously as well. But there are some people back then that do not just agree na yes, agree Snyder Cut, let's go, but also did confirm that Warner Brothers at that time actually already had a complete movie that Snyder Cut did finish. Ang basically ang sinasabi nila ng time na yon na hindi pa confirmed
Yeah.
is that Warner Brothers already had a complete cut of Snyder's movie, although it was still it was still in production. Basically, they were still gonna cut some scenes, they were still gonna polish some this and that, whatever. Parang nandun na siya sa final stages ng movie making, basically.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the reason why daw na nawala si Zack Snyder, which later on was confirmed, was because si Autumn, daughter ni Zack, unfortunately passed away, that took her life away. And even before Zack Snyder quit on the production of Justice League, there were already a lot of what do you call that?
Backlash.
No, not really backlash, but yes, pero parang mga backstory, mga rumors
Yeah.
that the studio and Zack Snyder aren't getting along in the production of the movie, in the making of the movie, in the direction of the movie, in the
Exactly.
themes of the movie.
Actually, it's not just the
Basically-
movie itself. In my sorry, nakat ka doon. It's just the movie
It's
itself.
okay.
I think ang nangyari nung time na yun was Warner Brothers were really trying to go on a different direction compared sa napag-usapan
Yes.
ni Zack Snyder from the start.
Yes.
Right?
That happened. Yeah, that happened because of basically, I think around that time, 2017. What movie did? It was because of Suicide Squad. There you go.
Yeah, Suicide
It
Squad.
actually, it's not Suicide. It's not.
No, it's
Suicide
BVS.
Squad's
It's
fault.
BVS actually.
Yes, PBS and then
BVS.
Suicide Squad. Kasi
Squad.
we're going on a tangent, pero basically what happened in BVS was that people were comparing, it's too dark. Alam mo yun, parang they were saying,
Yes.
generally it was too dark. And then when Suicide came out, not even the movie, just the trailer, a lot of people were saying, oh, this is the Suicide Squad and the theme of the DC that we like because it's more lighthearted,
Yeah.
it's more fun. Hindi pa lumalabas yung movie yan, ha? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then Suicide Squad really did come out, and then it was not good. Actually, meron din. Speaking of Suicide Squad and Snyder Cut, there was also in Suicide Squad meron din David Ayer cut before nila.
Yes,
i-release
yeah,
yung
supposedly.
isang movie.
Bago
That's
nila sinira.
another-
Hindi nila nilinis. Sinira nila yung movie.
Yes, basically just like what happened here with Justice League. So moving forward with the history of the Snyder Cut, basically nung simula pala nagkakaroon na talaga ng issue si Zack Snyder with the Warner Brothers with the direction his Snyderverse is going, and this movie, this Justice League, their prized possession at that point. Especially, take note, at this point, the Avengers movie were already up in the air.
Yeah.
Alam mo yun, talagang. And unfortunately, DC was trying to catch up, which they should not have in the first place.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. They were really
Right?
trying hard to catch up with the Avengers. But the
They
problem
were.
was dun sa feeling ko na naging approach ng WB that time was masyado lang minadali. Avengers had like how many years to do it?
2008.
Yes.
10 years worth of movies para lang
Yes.
kilala yung characters nila. Ito
Amen.
one movie. Diba?
Amen.
Pero actually ito, in my opinion lang, speaking of that term, 'di ba? Kasi ang ginawa ng based from dun sa observation ko, ginawa ng Avengers was, let's say, Iron Man, then characters muna bago assemble. Ang nangyari kasi with DC is, dun lang sa na-observe ko, what they did was basically introduce one character, which is just Superman, and then pinasok nila yung Batman, which if you think about it, ang pinasok nilang Batman was actually old already. So it's basically
Which I
the
loved
time-
actually.
Exactly. That's one of the things I love about the Snyderverse here. They gave us basically the Snyderverse at all.
Yung parents si Batman, pre.
Yeah, yun nga. Pero binigyan nila tayo ng bagong take on a Batman na hindi pa natin normally nakikita. Kasi lahat ng Batman na nakita natin was always starting from year 1 year
Yes.
0 going to, let's say, year 5.
Yes.
But this
Yes.
guy, the Batman that we had with the Snyderverse, we already have, year 15 to 20 na siya eh. So medyo
20
matagal na
years siya,
talaga
oo.
siya.
Oo.
So I think
Experience.
Yes.
ang ganda lang ng approach for me kasi ang parang gusto ko,
Definitely.
ang nakikita kong approach na gusto nilang gawin was create the band first and then tsaka sila individual movies. Which
Yes.
I think it kind of works in
It does.
it kind of works
I
in a
agree.
different way, 'di ba? Pero yun
I
nga lang,
agree.
nagpanic sila with what happened and
Yes. And
they changed everything.
going back pare dun sa so basically let's move forward a bit with the timeline. So when
Wait lang, sorry, Migo. Before we talk about the timeline, medyo mababa pa yung timeline na pag-usapan natin. Let's go with the reactions at the start first. Like you
Okay,
said,
okay.
you tama yung reactions na binigay mo was like, okay, this was supposed to be dead. So parang, wow.
oh yeah,
Amazing, yeah.
parang
Hindi mo na-expect.
bro, parang
Yeah.
ito yung screen ni LeBron doon sa rookie doon sa GSW pare. Hindi niya
Oh
nakita,
yeah,
pare.
minsan di ko maayo bila sumalpak. So for you Ivan, what was your initial reaction when the movie came out?
Ako pare, sobrang na-excite ako dito. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, yung, di ba may stream schedule ako, pre. Pre, kinancel ko yung stream schedule ko ng Friday. Kasi, alam ko na papanorin ko siya Saturday. Thursday siya lumabas sa atin, di ba? Ngayon, kinancel ko yung pag-stream ko ng Thursday, Friday hanggang Saturday. Kasi ayoko nga ma-miss out yung ayoko marinig yung spoilers. Ganun ako ka-excited para sa movie na to. Tapos nung pinanood ko tong movie na to, parang hindi ako na-disappoint. Honestly, talaga tingin ko dito sa movie na to sobrang ganda. Hindi ko naramdaman yung 4 hours dito sa movie na to, mga pre. Pero may mga problema ako sa kanya. Hindi siya perfect na movie. May mga problema ako sa kanya. Lalo na nung pagka pinanood mo na siya ng mga ilang beses, may kita mo na may mga butas din siguro yung plot. Tapos parang yung may mga certain choices sa music na hindi ako nag-agree din para dun sa score. Pero personally, ako na-enjoy yung Snyder Cut. Way better than Justice League, pre. Yung
Josh Whedon.
Yan.
Yes.
Ang pangit nun, pre. Binastos nila doon si Batman dito. Binalik nila yung respeto dun sa mga yung DC characters na mahal natin. So, yun, pre. Sobrang nagustuhan ko siya.
Alright. Ikaw naman, Silver J, ano yung una mong reactions or regarding sa movie?
Unang reactions ko, nauna ako nanood sa inyo, di ba? Sa inyong dalawa.
Oo, aga mo eh.
Yung
Miko, bigyan namin yung backstory. Si Silver J, nanood siya ng Snyder Cut nung nilabas yun, umagang-umaga. As in, nanood siya ng umaga. Kasi di ba parang 3 p.m. pa lalabas sa 3 p.m. lalabas sa HBO Go, di ba? Parang nanood siya mga 8, 9 a.m.
Tagal na namin magkasama ni Ivan. Ilang years ko na pinapakita sa kanya yung picture ni Darkseid na ni-release a couple years ago. Ni Zack Snyder, yung possibility of the Snyder Cut. Yung picture ni Darkseid, na-hype lalo ako. Sana i-release nga nila. So, first, kinachat ako ng mga to. Kumusta na? Men, 2 hours pa lang ako, men. Napansin ko na agad yung difference, which is the character development. Sobrang natuwa ako sa ginawa nila. Sobrang may sense yung sinasabi ni Steppenwolf.
Yeah. Nagkaroon siya ng
Sobrang
Agree.
may sense yung sinasabi niya, di tulad dun sa original cut, which is like, you will all love me dun sa mga Amazonia. Sabi ko, ano yun?
Actually, yeah. Fuckboy pala yun.
Nagsasabi.
GH ka ba, gago?
Ay, gagi.
Tanda ko yun, min. Lagi nakangiti pa siya nun, no? You will all love me, tas bago siya umalis. Nakangiti pa. Sobrang natuwa ako nun. At the same time, yung pagpasok nila, pag-introduce nila kay Cyborg, pati kay Flash. Tsaka yung bond ni Flash with his dad, may backstory ka na agad. Basically, ginawa tong movie para dun sa mga, may alam na talaga sa mga background ng mga DC characters na to. So, I was really happy when it was released.
Yeah, agree. Ako naman, ang initial reaction ko nun, eto talaga, matagal ko nang sinet sa mind ko to. At sinabi ko na rin to kay Ivan and some of my friends. Alam mo yung example, like, pumanaw ka na or like kumabili ang buhay ka na. Tapos binigyan ka ni God ng parang choice. Oh, meron ka bang gustong movie na panoorin na kahit hypothetical na pag nagawa, papanoorin mo dito? Kasi kunyari, nasa heaven ka. Nakaset na yung utak ko na Snyder Cut yung pipiliin ko. Kasi I always thought na ito, wala na to eh. Ito na yung mga movies.
Hindi ending kabisode 10, pare.
Hindi. Okay, shake, rattle and roll 45. Hindi yun yung pipiliin mo eh. Pare, yung nakaset
Di
na talaga ako.
matapos-tapos.
Nakaset na talaga ako na tangin na Snyder Cut to. As in, kasi ako, akala ko
Snyder
talaga wala
Cut.
na eh. As in, wala na talaga eh. I didn't expect it to nalalabas siya. I mean, kasi, like I said, never in the history na kahit i-pressure mo ang isang studio ng mga fans, i-release nila yung movie. And the reason why this movie was one of the things na parang it's not just a normal movie release is because fans actually did their part to actually release this movie.
They did.
Diba?
Sobra.
Well, ako, sobra, diba?
Laking parte.
So, yun. I mean, ako invested ako ever since nag-hashtag yung
Release ng Snyder
yung
Cut.
release ng Snyderverse. So, yun. Nag-invested na ako sa movie. I never thought na ilalabas to in my lifetime. Kaya sobrang saya ko na nirelease siya nung
Yes,
lifetime.
yes, yes.
So, speaking of the whole movie, 4 hours, in my opinion, let's talk about the pros and the cons of the movie. Kasi, I mean, like, 4
Okay.
hours. You know, ito yung madalas na questions na napapansin ko nung nirelease to with my friends na parang, uy, worth it ba itong panoorin? 4 hours? Pare,
Ano ba
ang
yan?
haba.
Oo.
Di ba? Parang 4 hours. Ano ba yan? Tangin na ba't ang haba? Gago worth it ba panoorin? Tsaka ano ba yung Snyderverse na yan? So, I'm pretty sure this is the time that maybe we could ask the questions na yan. Is it worth watching? What are the pros and the cons? And later, like yung na-start na ni Migo, let's talk about the whole Snyderverse again. So, yun.
Yes.
Okay.
For you, Migo, what are the pros and cons na napansin mo with this movie?
Well, for me, the pros is really just the fleshing out of the story much better and fleshing out of the characters much better. It did give more justice, pun intended, with the characters that were disenfranchised with what happened when the 2017 Justice League cut came out. Because so yeah, I think that's one of the pros, definitely. Yung character leaps and bounds better than the theatrical cut. Actually, pare, if you're gonna ask me about the cons, generally speaking, wala siyang cons. Honestly, that's my stand. Pero if you're going to tell me subjectively, parang sarili mong opinion, dun lang pumapasok yung cons sa movie to eh. Depende sa taste mo eh. So, for me, I agree ako sa'yo kanina, Ivan, when you said na there were some musical choices that you didn't like. Diba you said that? For me, that's one of the cons, pero if you're a fan of that, then I can say that it's a con. Alam mo yun? Parang I could see it, or I can see people liking that direction. Unfortunately, I didn't. Another con that I would say is that, pare, you're Aquaman, you're the king of the ocean, you're the defender of the seven seas. Bakit ka naglilittering sa dagat, pare? What's up? Pag ginawa mo sa La Union yun, pare, makukulong ka, gago. Di mo ba nila?
Taga-protekta ka ng dagat, ayun ko.
Diba? Natapon mo. Tapos mo mo ng empoy, pare. Natapon mo na lang.
Oh, gago. Sobrang sama ni Aquaman doon. Gago, meron pang ganyan kadami. May ganyan pa eh. Bakit ka nagsayang? Meron pa. Ba't ka nagsayang? Akala ko badass.
Cool daw siya eh. Cool daw siya, pare.
Ay, nako.
Nabasag naman daw yung bote.
Pero jokes aside, pare, honestly, The Pros is definitely a much more superior movie in story and in character and in everything else. Personally speaking, cons, just the sound choice, sobrang minor lang yun. And honestly, wala akong cons. Honestly, even the duration, I like it. Alam mo, I like it. Ayun.
Ikaw, Silver J.
Iyo. Pros and cons, sorry. Nawala ako. Nakatingin kasi ako sa chat, may nagpapa-shoutout yung fan ni Evanders.
Tira ka ata, Silver J. Ano ba yan?
Shoutout daw natin si Ron
Sino yan?
Chester Ignacio.
Chester Ignacio.
Paring Ron, sa mga viewer natin.
Paring
Sa-
Ron.
Maraming
Shoutout.
salamat, pre.
Ito,
Loyal viewers mo yan, pre.
favorite na viewer natin. Shoutout daw sa Golteb niya kay Mario kay Papa Marion Marcos. Yan, shoutout kay Golteb. Kay Boyty guys, yan. Tsaka maganda din daw panoorin yung German cut.
Oh, pare! Totoo!
Justice League German cut.
Pare!
Solid yun, solid talaga yung
Pare! Real talk yun.
Real talk yun, man. Magugulat nila.
Matigas na yelo sa buong bahay namin. Kaya na birthday guys.
Boyti guys, magugulat ka lang sa German cat, biglang gumagano, no? O Ivan, ikaw, ano ang pros and cons sa'yo?
Di ba si Silver J na yun?
Ayun?
Actually, para sa akin, wala siya. Yung cons na para sa akin na yung di pa siya ginagawang canon ng Warner Brothers, doon ako nainis eh.
Yeah,
Possibilities, yung possibility na pwede pa nila i-expand to, tapos nakita nila yung dami na nanonood doon sa Snyder Cut, tapos nag-subscribe sa HBO Max nila or HBO Go na platform. Yun ang yung cons sa akin. Pero overall, pro siya sa akin sa tolak.
Actually.
Agree ako dun.
So, ako naman, masabi ko, pros, yun, pares kay Migo yung character development ng mga heroes. Actually, same din kay Steppenwolf kasi nagkaroon, kung bakit niya ginagawa yung ginagawa niya.
Action yun, tama.
Yes.
Sa unang movie, unang version ng Justice League. Tapos, siguro, yun nga, yung con, wala masyado. Yun nga, yung problema ko sa music, katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, for example, yung same din yung kay Aquaman nung tinapon niya yung bote. Yung naglalakad siya dun sa stage, hindi masyado natripan yung...
May song choice yun, diba? May weird song choice yung time na yun eh. Yun din yung sa akin.
Tapos,
Yun din yung sa akin.
Yung kay Flash din nung sinidya si Iris West. Parang hindi ko na-gets lang yung Pero again, yung na to, kung depende naman yung sa trip mo na klase.
Yeah.
Diba? So,
Kanya-kanyang taste.
yun lang yung masasabi ko. Yung 4 hours kasi, madalas yan sasabihin siguro ng tao, ba't kailangan mo ng 4 na oras para lang gumawa ng isang movie, ganun. Pero kasi pag pinanood mo to movie na to dun sa 4 hours, sobrang sakto lang ng 4 hours para pailala lahat ng characters dun sa movie.
Tama.
Para sa akin. So yung etong 4 hours at hindi ko siya masasabing kon. Ang isa pang pro pati, since nasa HBO Max siya, pwede mo siyang hatiin, pwede ka tumigil kahit kailan mo gusto. Kailangan panoorin ng buo. Pwede ka tumigil part by part, may 6 parts kasi siya eh. Pwede mo panoorin after ng, let's say part 2, pahinga ka, kuha kang popcorn, ihi ka, kung ano mo kailangan mong gawin, diba? Tapos siya mo balikan yung movie. So yun yung nagustuhan ko din dito sa na to, sa Justice League na to. Pero ang masasabi ko lang din, hindi mo siya pwede gawin sa theatrical release, yung 4 hours. Siya mag-work. So, buti na lang.
Something to say about that later, by the way.
Yes. Yun nga, parang, again, sobrang ganda ng movie. Wala akong ibang sobrang masamang masabi, kundi yun lang, yung mga personal taste lang na hindi lang sa akin nag-vibe.
Yeah, that's agree ako dun. In terms naman sa akin, pros and cons, pinaka-pro ko is lahat everything. Kasi if you watch, this is how I see it If you watch the Justice League back in 2017, if I was gonna compare it, if gagawin ko siya analogy, para ka nanood ng scary movie. Yung scary movie na scary movie, gets yung parody ng movie. Para siyang ganun for me. Yung 2017 was di ba? Para siyang, it was a parody movie. Kasi people, some of the things na napansin ko is parang, pareho lang naman sa dating Justice League. Actually, no, it's 2 different movies talaga. They might have same title, same cast, pero pare, it's a different movie. As in, ibang-iba talaga siya.
Definitely.
So, ang pinaka-pro sa akin, first is, story-wise was really good. Like you said kanina, binigyan nila ng let's say, proper airtime lahat ng characters. Kasi lahat ng characters nabigyan sila ng ng time to stand out and technically get to know them. So at least man lang hindi mo siya parang walang character doon na parang tayo na itong character to. Because honestly in 2017 Cyborg was that character na parang ano ginagawa dito? Ano ginagawa ni The Flash dito? Parang basically nilagay sila sa movie para lang masabing si Flash nandoon. But the thing is with the Snyder Cut, lahat sila nagkaroon sila ng moments And ina-explain ko rin to kay nasabi ko na to before sa kanila na parang Batman, ito yung movie na parang hindi siya masyadong nag-stand out but he did his part. Kasi again, this is not a Batman movie with Justice League. This is a Justice League. So basically, everyone did their part. So ang napansin ko dun is walang sumapaw sa kanila, which is I think it's really great.
Actually.
Second is visual effects. Ang ganda ng mga visual effects na ginawa lang. Plus yung mga shots. The color, hindi ako nagiging technical, pero mas trip ko yung colors ngayon compared yung color nung kay Josh Whedon. Parang ang angas lang ng ginawa ni Zack Snyder.
Yung atmosphere.
Yung
mas maganda.
exactly, yung pinaka-atmosphere na yun. Tapos, ang pinaka-con ko lang, con-wise siguro for me personally, nakakabitin eh. Kasi if this is the end of the Zack Snyder verse, wala, bitin ka talaga eh. Bitin ka na talaga eh. So parang, ang ginawa lang sa'yo, parang inatat ka lang, gets? Parang ginakul ka lang gago. Tapos wala na. Pare, diba?
Hindi ka nalabasan.
Diba? Parang ganun lang eh. So parang alam mo, parang binigyan, parang pinatigas ka lang niya. Alam mo yung parang, tangin na gago nakipagmomol sa'yo sobrang tagal. Gago tinis ka niya. Tapos gago pinatigas ka lang niya. Tapos bigla bang! Wala na. So parang ako, fuck, sobrang con yun, diba? So parang ako, shit. Kaya ako, I'm really hoping na sana ituloy nila yung Snyderverse, at least kahit man lang doon sa Justice League Part 3. Especially na nire-release na ngayon yung mga details, which we're gonna talk about later. And yun, I'd just like to add pala, I think also a bit for me, con-wise is the time. Tama yung sabi ni Ivan na hindi mo siya pwede i-release. I mean, medyo mahirapan kayo i-release to theatrically. Pero I think, in my opinion, this movie was really built for the streaming era. For the streaming era. Kasi
exactly.
I mean, ito even if I'm a big fan of Zack Snyder, itong Snyder Cut, pag nilabas mo to sa theater, like example on a normal day, yes, manonood ako. But then again, yung appeal na, let's say, sa tito ko, or sa casual fan, hindi niya makukuha yung appeal eh. Not like pag nilagay mo lang siya sa streaming service, one way or another, meron magiging interested eh. Diba? So parang pag pinanood nila, okay, pwede ko to panoorin per part or let's say 30 minutes.
Hawak nila oras nila kasi.
Hawak eh, yeah. So I think talaga this movie was meant to be released at this exact moment. Kasi ito,
totoo pare. Meron ako sabihin tungkol dyan mamaya pag usapan na natin yan pare.
In my opinion lang, if this was released, let's say back in 2017 at 4 hours, the reception would be different. In my opinion even if the same story would be there, feeling ko magiging iba yung reception kasi tangin na 4 hours ka nandun sa sinyan eh. So maybe that the fans would love it, but the casual fans na yung mga nakikibandwagon ngayon na feeling ko nakikibandwagon na, so Justice League, I think they wouldn't enjoy it as much as they enjoyed it now.
May ano ako dyan mamaya pre, may tanong ako dyan eh. Mga parang curveball na tanong tungkol sa Justice League. Pero save ko na yan mamaya.
Yan. Okay, so now we could talk about let's talk about yung insight mo regarding dun sa Migo, regarding dun sa streaming age since andito na rin tayo sa topic na yun.
Okay. So actually when you said a while ago na now is the perfect time for Justice League Snyder Cut to release a 4-hour movie because it's a streaming age. That's right on point, pare. Actually, pare, well, unfortunately, it is the pandemic era. We don't see alam mo, parang we don't see anything that can bring us back on how things were before. Moreover, since the pandemic era has begun, and unfortunately, a lot of businesses are tremendously hit with what's happening. One of the businesses that were also tremendously hit by this pandemic era was theater movies, especially in the United States. So, dami. Actually, there's another topic. Well, I'm gonna touch on it a bit lang, pero it's a bigger conversation. AMC, it's a theater company in the United States. They're the biggest theater company in the United States. And they have filed for bankruptcy for like 3 times, 2 or 3 times for the past duration of pandemic. Actually, even before the pandemic, kaya siya nakakatakot eh. Although nakabawi sila ng pera because they played. Alam mo yung nangyari sa GameStop, yung tumaas yung that somehow happened with AMC as well. So pare.
Sila yung second stock eh. Sila yung second stock ata na ano.
Yeah. Pero basically going back, parang now it is the era of streaming. And this is why I really like that Justice League came out with a 4-hour movie. Because back then, let's say 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you can barely do this. Not just because people will be bored, but also because theater owners will say no and veto the decision that there will be that, hey, kunyari, Warner Brothers, hey, we are filming a 5-hour movie. G ba kayo? A lot of theater owners back then would veto no to that kind of movie simply because that they cannot show that same movie multiple times in one day because they can't make their money. Now, it is the streaming era, which is a great opportunity for a lot of filmmakers to actually fully embrace and realize their visions in their filmmaking. It's such a perfect time for that because exactly, I'm so excited. Na alam mo parang you're a filmmaker and then the studio that you're working for is telling you before would say so you have this vision, you better cut it in an hour and 30 minutes. It better be 130 minutes, it better be 90 minutes, otherwise we can't fund you because we can't make our money back because the theaters will not get the money that they're gonna make us with. But now in the age of streaming services, especially now, where the streaming wars is actually out and about. Kasi Disney Plus is here. Alam mo yan, parang Netflix is not just
Amazon Prime.
It's not just, Amazon Prime. A lot,
Paramount
Hulu,
Plus, dami.
everything. This is just a perfect opportunity for Warner Brothers to bring back the Snyder Cut, not just because of the fanfare, but also because it is the future. Listen, why is it the future? Because in the age of streaming era, it is individual fans that do pay the streaming sites for their membership. And let's say, for example, which I suggest that the Warner Brothers do, dito sa HBO Max, after Game of Thrones, no one wants to watch your fucking streaming site. What am I gonna watch with your streaming site? Bad Boys 3? I don't give a shit. No offense.
That's true.
No offense. I love Bad Boys 3, honestly. Pero that's basically my point. What is your big gun? Netflix has a lot of new shows coming out.
Yeah.
And they just keep on coming out. Disney Plus? Disney Plus has everything. Disney Plus has everything. Holy fuck.
Gago,
HBO.
minomonopolize na lahat, gagi.
Exactly. HBO, what are you gonna do? Diba? So, basically, that's my suggestion. It is perfect now for the Snyderverse to basically go out and about and go all in this new streaming age because listen, Warner Brothers, you can still do your fucking one-off movies. Yung mga Joker nyo, I love Joker. Yung mga one-off lang, Joker and whatever, si Shazam.
The Batman.
The Batman, he can still do those movies in theaters and you are gonna make money because personally speaking, even though that I'm not a DC fan, I'm a movie fan, I'm gonna go see that shit. Alam mo, mag-face mask ako, papanoorin ko yun. Real talk. Anyway, moving forward. Warner Brothers can still make their one and done movies, which is apparently what they have been doing before the pandemic era. That's why they canceled the Snyderverse. But now that the pandemic era has begun and the streaming wars is actually more prominent than the theater wars, I suggest that the Warner Brothers actually do pursue the Snyderverse in HBO Max.
I agree with you.
I
agree with you with that.
They have all to it. Sa theaters, nandun yung mga single movies nila. Dito sa HBO Max, Snyderverse. Boom! HBO makes money, Warner Brothers makes money, fans are happy, everyone's happy. Ano pang hinihintay nyo? This is the perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Saka maganda rin yung insights regarding sa mga one-off movies. Kasi I think now, people are much more, mas nagigets na nila na may multiverse in terms of movies. Ito na ko, compared before Before kasi hindi ka pwede mag-cast na, let's say, double Superman. But nowadays, pwede ka na mag-cast. And I think multiverse is the strength of the DC cinematic universe. Look at what they did with Arrow. Pare Arrow. Actually,
100%.
In my opinion, multiverse is their strength. Let's say sa comics din, di ba? I mean, Marvel has the single universe that we have right now, yung continuous na since Iron Man 1 till now. But I think the greatest strength of DC is that they were the first one to actually put in multiverse in public. Kasi like with Arrow, the Batgirl that they have, di ba yung Flash? Ay, Batwoman, sorry. The Flash. DC Legends of Tomorrow. So basically, people are getting the concept na okay lang may multiverse, madaming casting and everything. And I think yeah, they should. I agree with you. They should stick with. They should have a plan with a streaming and a theatrical cut. Yeah.
Yes.
Moving on. Let's talk about the rumors or the Easter eggs that napansin natin sa mga doon sa
Easter
buong
eggs.
sa Snyder Cut. Now for you guys, what was the most interesting rumor or mga readings na narinig nyo or Easter eggs na napansin nyo in terms of the Snyder Cut? Like, I'll go first. Siguro for me, the most interesting na nabasa ko regarding the Snyderverse and the Snyder Cut is yung plans nila for Justice League Part 1 and Justice League Part 2 and Part 3. Which is supposedly expanding the nightmare scene or the nightmare scenario. I'm really excited about it kasi, dude, ang angas. This I think, if this pushes through, this will be the first time na makikita nating salbahe si Superman.
Actually.
Yeah.
Na parang,
Wait lang, sa media hindi Sa movies, oo. Pero
sa movies,
media,
yeah. Sa movies, ano,
Good
like,
point, good point.
on a live action, this is the first time na makikita natin si Superman. Kasi ito, I'm a big Batman fan. Superman for me is just a brute.
Batman.
I always see him as a brute, okay? So,
Oh.
okay. So baka mabash ako for this. But yeah, I see Superman as just
It's
the
not, bro, it's
muscle.
okay.
The muscle of Justice League. But this would be so interesting in my opinion kasi basically, yung kinakatakutan ng mga tao talaga, ay basically yung parang kinakatakutan ni Batman or kinakatakutan ng buong Justice League is mangyayari if the nightmare scene the nightmare scenario pushes through.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the one thing I'm really excited about. Hopefully matuloy in the future.
kung matuloy.
And Carl, quite frankly, I think it's also socially relevant to see a superpower gone bad and to let people think na meron kang isang superpower sa mundo. What are you going to stop him? It's socially relevant. Alam mo
Yeah,
yun?
it does.
It helps people think about that also. Alam mo yun? The saying.
No, pero gagawa ko nga, totoo yun.
Oh, what about you, Ivan? Ano yung Easter egg or
Easter
future
egg.
reference
Siguro-
na nakita mo na interesting?
Okay, so start ko sa Easter egg. Kung nakita niyo yung scene na yung hawak-hawak ni Superman yung mask ni Batman. Yung bago lumilipad na siya. Di ba hinawakan siya ni Darkseid, may hawak-hawak siyang corpse, di ba si Lois. Tapos tapos nung lumipad na siya, nahawak niya yung mask ni Batman. Kita niyo sa harapan si Kilowog patay na.
Yeah.
So
Green Lantern.
sa akin yung Easter egg na yun. Kasi ibig sabihin yung Green Lantern Corps pumunta na sa Earth.
Yeah.
Naipaglaban na sila. Lumaban na naipag-inlabutan ako bigla. Hayop.
Let's go!
Kasi parang,
I love it.
parang biglang ibig sabihin, gago, all-out war yung nangyari, tapos natalo sila dun sa first part ng gera na yun.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ivan. Sobrang ganda ng point.
Nakaka-excite, pare. Kasi parang, anong klaseng movies yung makukuha mo para lang i-build up yung gera na yun? Parang katulad na ginawa nila sa Avengers. Ipasok na lang natin yung Avengers, man. Anong klaseng build up yung ginawa nila para dumating sila dun sa Infinity War tsaka sa sa
tama.
Endgame, diba? Isipin mo, ako personally pare, ko lang, mas na-excite ako kasi dito sa Justice League, sa Snyder Cut kaysa sa Endgame. Mas gusto ko siya. Yun yung personal opinion ko, pare. Parang
Interesting.
parang mas may pakialam kasi ako sa characters kasi sa Endgame kung tanggalin mo yung lahat ng time traveling doon, sobrang dragging nung part na yun, pre.
Exactly.
Mentioning war scene sa Avengers Endgame, pero ito kasi parang hindi ko lang alam kung biased ako kasi DC fan ako, pero yun yung mas na-enjoy ko. Anyway,
It's all love, brother. All love yun, all love.
Nakaka-excite lang yung part na yun, na isipin na yung build-up na gagawin nila para papunta dun sa nightmare scene na yun. Tapos siguro, ang masasabi ko sa lahat ng nabasa ko, yun nga, parang ang sabi kasi nila, yung mabalik tayo about dun sa Warner Brothers, kung bakit hindi nila itutuloy yung Snyder Cut or yung Snyderverse. Kasi, di ba nga, may mga sarili na silang plano kasi parang iniisip nila ang tamang route, parang yung Marvel route para sa mga superhero movies. Pero ang matindi kasi nun, parang may nangyayari daw, nabasa ko lang, na parang may nangyayari daw na war between companies. Kasi ang owner ng Warner Brothers, ng Warner Media, yung AT&T, yung telecoms company.
Yes.
Tapos ngayon, yung reason kung bakit nangyari itong Snyder Cut, kasi yung AT&T gusto nilang isatisfy yung mga fans. Kasi yung AT&T, ang gusto nila, pera. Kasi ayaw nila i-push yung agenda nung kung ano mga ideology yung meron yung Warner Brothers para sa mga tao. Ang pakialam nila yung pera eh. So,
That's true.
Business eh.
Why
It's
not?
business.
So yun yung parang na-excite ako na kung totoo man ngayon talaga, kasi kung AT&T yung parent company, wala silang magagawa kung hindi palabas yung Snyder Cut. Kaya na nag-usap kami, yung Snyderverse, kaya na nag-usap kami ni Silver J about na kung tutuloy nga yung Snyderverse. Sabi ko, men, hindi naman tanga yung mga yan. Gusto niya ng pera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kung maraming tao manonood dyan, yan. Gusto naman nila o hindi nila pwede tanggihan yung pera. Na parang ang alat lang isipin, pero ganun talaga kasi gumana yung mga kumpanya. Na at the same time, advantageous sa lahat ng fans na
Sa
itong
fans,
Snyderverse.
exactly. Yeah.
Pare, so doon ako excited, pre, yung news na yun. So yun.
Kaya ang ganda nung ang ganda na yung mga fans is nag-stream talaga sila para mapapakita na they support the Snyderverse.
Yes.
Which is really good for us fans. Sorry wait lang. Bigyan ko lang kayo kailangan ko lang sabihin. Tama, ganda nung sinabi ni Ivan regarding kay Kilowog. Kasi kung sa mga tao nanonood dito, a little lore regarding Green Lanterns. Green Lanterns, may isang sector lang silang pupuntahan. So basically may isang sector lang sila na binabantayan. Like for Earth, we have Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, and Guy Gardner. So technically let's say one Green Lantern per sector. Ang ganda ng point na sinabi niya si Kilowog nagpunta sa sector natin. Maganda yung sabi niya kasi Kilowog doesn't have anything, that character Kilowog doesn't have any shit to do here in our sector. Hindi niya responsable to eh. Kumbaga sa parang si Kilowog taga Cebu, ang Earth nasa Manila. So gets parang Manila PD lang to eh. Pero to think na dumating si Kilowog.
Good point.
Dumating si Kilowog dun sa scene na yun. So ibig sabihin tama siya na lahat ng Green Lantern nagpunta. May mga Green Lantern na tumulong sa atin. So kumbaga, may malaking event sa Manila, may mga taga Cebu na pumunta para tulungan tayo. So it's a very good point. It's a very good Easter egg. So ang ganda. So din yung so maganda. Tama yung sinabi niya, magandang build up and hopefully it happens. Hopefully it happens. Multiple Green Lanterns, my God.
Actually happy ako pinoint out ngayon, pare, kasi like we talked earlier before the stream na hindi talaga ako like a big comic book lore follower. So mas na-illuminate sa akin yung world na nangyari rin sa movie. Mas na-appreciate ko siya, pare.
Next time,
goosebumps ako, pare.
Next time we'll talk. Siguro, actually guys, we could talk about a Green Lantern episode next time.
Feeling ko kaya sila nandun dahil sa anti-life equation kasi universe threat yun.
Sa bagay. The anti-life. Good point. What about you, Chu? Ano yung mga nakita mo na what were you excited about?
Yung excite talaga ako sobra. Nahanap yung reason kung ba't nagalit si Superman talaga na sobra. Dahil hindi ko alam kung napansin sa scene na to, yung parang nagising bigla si Lois Lane sa kama niya, tapos parang may inabot siya ID doon sa drawer.
Guys, here lang ako. Wait lang.
Go.
May inabot siyang ID doon sa drawer, which is yung working ID, employee ID niya. At the same time, may pregnancy test na katabi. And by the end of the movie, kinongratulate siya ni Bruce Wayne. Kinongratulate ni Bruce Wayne si Clark Kent. Which is, buntis nga talaga si Lois Lane.
So, ako nga sa dulo, sinabi
actually, So basically, kaya magigets mo yung point kung ba't parang nag-turn bad talaga si Superman. Kasi parang injustice storyline yun. Tingnan mo yung pinatay ni Joker, yung parang Pinoy.
Kaya niyang patayin si Lois sa sarili niya, di ba?
Kasi parang na-poison gas siya ni Joker na parang na-hallucinate siya na kalaban si Lois Lane tapos sinapak niya na sinapak. Which is spoiler. So, kaya siya, naipaw na sobra nun kasi ang dark talaga.
It is. Hindi ko pala point out. Yeah, that's a very good point na parang this universe is really dark. It's I mean it's dark for me. It's mature. Yeah, that's a good term. Mature. Hindi naman siya sobrang dark kasi dark is like The Boys. Kung napanood The Boys, yun ang dark. Medyo wild. But this one, it's a very mature take on yung mga superheroes na kinalakihan natin. Especially na tayo lumaki tayo sa Justice League animated series. Diba? So, nakakatawa. Unlimited, diba?
Pare, Cartoon Network.
Diba? So, sobrang nakakatuwa na makita mo sila sama-sama sa isang nabuhay sila. Talaga,
gusto kong i-add doon. Add ko lang, pare. Sorry, Chua. Yung parang gusto ko lang i-add na, yun nga, katulad na sinabi rin ni Watch na parang yung tone niya kasi mature. So, yung repercussions na nangyayari around lahat ng actions na ginagawa ng Justice League merong mga may mga tawag dito, may mga negative effects dun sa society, dun sa mundo. Which na-appreciate ko kasi sa Avengers puta sumabog yung building puta naangiti pa rin yung mga tao eh. Alam mo yung
Actually,
Justice League, tinan mo yung simula ng Batman versus Superman, naglalaban si Zod tsaka si Superman, si Batman, nag-aalala siya para dun sa mga tao, yung mga tao natatakot sila. 'Di ba na naglalaban, na naapektuhan sila. So, yun yung nagustuhan ko din dito sa yung sinabi nga na point yung dalawa na mature yung tone nito movie na to na na-appreciate ko compared dun sa Avengers. Although may time and place kasi para dun sa mga ganong klaseng movies. Kasi may time na gusto mo manood ng ganon, 'di ba? Pero ito para sa universe na to, hindi talaga ito talaga yung pinakatamang tone para.
Yes,
anyway, sorry Chu. Tuloy pa sabi mo, sorry pare.
Saan ba? Sorry.
Yung kay Lois
Lane, at the same time, mas maintindihan mo doon sa nightmare scene kung ba't parang yung pagbagsak ni Superman doon, parang pulang-pula yung mata. Kasi sobrang mahal niya si Lois Lane paano pa kaya yung Lois Lane na buntis na namatay? So, magigets mo lalo kung ba't siya ganun.
Actually, di ba rin sa theatrical cut, parang hindi nila pinakitang buntis si Lois Lane.
Wala.
It was just here in the Snyder cut. That's why it's really great.
Parang sorry.
Ano yung sabi mo? Go.
Sa original cut kasi parang ginawa lang siyang secret weapon ni Bruce Wayne para nung binuhay nila si Superman, di ba? Lalabas niya bigla para gumawan bigla yung loob niya.
Alfred bring out the big guns.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward. But
By the way, sobrang naburot ako sa scene na yun, by the way. So, sa movie, parang ako tangina, ganito tatratawin si Superman, ay si Batman, pare.
Pinipilit nila gawin parang comedy si Batman.
Yeah, yung
Marvel route.
Yeah, masyadong pilit yun in my opinion yung nangyari dun sa Anyway, wag natin pag-usapan yun. This is not on the Joss Whedon cut. We don't want that shit. We don't want, throw that shit away. Wala yan dito. For you, Migo. For you, ano naman yung mga Easter eggs na pansin mo or yung mga nabasa mo na parang fan theories or futures regarding sa Snyder?
Ako pare, for me pare, I think sinabi ko na kanina na hindi naman talaga ako I'm not really a big DC fan to begin with. So most of the Easter eggs that happened in the movie just really went above my head. I didn't really get it. So, for me, the best Easter egg was actually the one at the very end, nung sa credits na, nung sinabi nung sa credits na nakasulat ng For Autumn, which is basically the daughter of Zack Snyder. Kasi, from the start, I am a big fan of Zack Snyder. Not just in the DC, yung run niya sa DC, yung mga pagdadirect yung movie sa DC, but also in his previous movies. 300, di ba? Solid 300. Dawn of the Dead, solid, di ba?
So, the best. Solid,
di ba? And actually, pare,
Soccer Punch medyo okay din naman kasi ang hot ng mga babae. So, I'll get tangina, hot kaya nila lahat dun.
Tapos yung ano pa ba yung kay Zack Snyder? So, I really like that scene yung nilabas niya yung kay For Autumn. Kasi, for me, yung Justice League na movie, parang mas marami akong alam na nangyari sa production ng Justice League movie than the movie itself. Kasi yun nga, to begin with, I'm not really a big DC fan. But I love DC movies. Hindi ako hater. I'm a Marvel guy. Meron akong Captain America Shield, meron akong Thor, meron akong Mjolnir. I have everything. Pero hindi ako DC hater kasi honestly, I love the Nolan verse. Alam mo yun? And also I love Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. A lot of people hate it. For me personally, I actually do love it because it is the Superman that we need dito sa panahon ngayon. Sakto yung tone niya. Alam mo yun? A lot of gray areas that you have to fight for in this time right now. Anyway, moving forward. For me, that's the reason why I like yung For Autumn. Kasi yun na nga alam ko kung bakit nag-quit si Zack Snyder to begin with. Doon sa initial production ng movie, bakit siya nawalan ng gana, will, to fight for his vision. Because tangina nagpakamatay yung anak niya. I can only imagine how that feels, and even though that I am only imagining it, it's already breaking my heart. What more happened to him? it did happen in reality. And for me as a creator, and alam mo yun, somehow I like to touch on arts as well. Nung nakita ko yung sa ending, yung nakita ko lumabas yung For Autumn, sobrang, alam mo yun, as fucking gay as it sounds, no offense, alam mo yun, parang, alam mo, parang, I really, na-touch talaga ako nung nakita ko yun, kasi parang ako like, oh my fucking God, Zack Snyder, the guy that quit doing this movie because namatay yung anak niya, fucking finished it for her daughter. There was some sort of closure. There was some sort of catharsis and moving on, and a sense of moving on for him as an artist, as a human. Nung nakita ko yung For Autumn, parang ako like, oh my God, like shit. Diba?
Emotional.
Yeah, it is.
Alam mo yung nangyari, bakit nga siya umalis.
Diba? Exactly. That's why for me, that's the best Easter egg. Actually, Easter egg din yan if you think about it. Pero
Yeah, it is. Pag hindi ka
but it's not
familiar
really
with it.
not really about the DP itself, but the movie. Alam mo,
movie
it's an Easter egg for the movie na parang hindi niya natapos yung movie to before because of Autumn. Na ngayon na natapos na niya, it's now for Autumn. So parang like, damn, solid. Sobrang beautiful.
Yung movie na to, ang dami nilang ginawa para dun sa anak nila. Kasi di ba, ang dami nilang na-donate para sa suicide prevention, parang ganun.
Yeah, ganun
Yes.
yung ginawa nila afterwards ng movie niya.
Kaya pumayag sila na si Zack Snyder. Alam ko hindi siya nagpabayad, pero alam ko lahat ng ibang nung inipon nila para dito sa movie na to, pinabigay nila doon sa charity na yun para sa suicide prevention.
Solid.
Yun yung pagkakala.
I didn't know that. Solid.
Yeah, Zack Snyder didn't get paid for this movie kasi ang reason niya
I didn't know that.
ang
Solid.
reason niya was pag nagpapabayad ako dito, magkakaroon ng control ang production. So, ang ginawa niya, either ang ginawa niya was, hindi ako magpapabayad, control ko lahat. But the funny thing was this, a few years ago, there was a GoFundMe na nangyari. They got the money, hindi kinuha ni Zack Snyder, and that's what they did. They donated it for the suicide prevention something. So kasi yung mga fans, they were doing a GoFundMe. I think they did multiple GoFundMe. Madami silang GoFund na nagawa because just to release the Zack Snyder cut. But the thing was, they all donated it for the suicide prevention, which was really
Kasi
nice of Zack.
Sobrang nagki-care about dun si Zack Snyder dahil nga doon sa nangyaring tragedya dun sa pamilya.
Unfortunately, yes.
Kaya sobrang ito movement na to ng release the Snyder Cut, man. Hindi parang hindi lang siya para dun sa movie, kundi parang masasabi mo pa dun sa tungkol sa mga tao na parang pagka nagsama-sama talaga yung mga tao, pagka may isa silang pinapaniwalaan. Diba? May malaking bagay sila na magagawa.
Oo, pare.
That's true.
Agree, pare.
Sobrang agree ako doon. I mean, like,
it's weirdly inspirational. Alam mo yun?
It is. Well, in my opinion, it really is inspirational in many aspects. Kasi first of all, tama yung sabi mo with the, 'di ba nag-release ka ng something sa Flick Friends, parang review after the movie. Tama yung sabi mo na it's nice to see someone finish their work. And it really is inspiring. I mean, like,
exactly.
Imagine,
Ano ba?
diba? I mean, like, if you had a dream for something or like you have a task that you really want to do, it doesn't matter kung gaano katagal eh. As long as you finish it. Like, look at this. It took us what? As a fan, na kung talagang invested ka, it took you 4 years to get what you wanted. And same with Snack.
4 years in a pandemic.
4 years in a pandemic, diba? So, tayo na imagine mo yung strain nun, pare. So, yeah, it is really inspiring in my opinion. And yes, this movie, in my opinion, should not be treated just like a normal movie release. Kasi I really believe that this was something more. This is a win for a lot of people.
Fans,
specifically the fans itself, di ba?
Yes.
And I think, in my opinion, nanalo din yung movie industry kasi dun ka, yung, especially with filmmakers, gaganahan ka na pag nalaman mo, if you have a fan base, and they really want it, marirelease mo yung movie talaga eh. Diba? So it's a very,
So,
it's a very
pwede,
inspiring movie.
so baka pwede na nila i-remake yung yung Last Jedi, no?
Well, hopefully.
Oh, shit!
Pwede na.
Pare, let's reserve that for another episode.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely reserve that.
Same reaction rin ba? Same reaction.
Pero madami na akong episodes na naisip. We could talk about the Green Lantern and everything.
Forward dun sa na yan. Ang question ko doon, pare-parehas ba tayong galit doon sa episode 8?
Siguro sa degree ng galit lang.
Sa degree
Ako kasi
ng galit.
parang ganyan lang yung galit ko eh. Galit ako pero maliit na.
Pero
I agree though. I agree it's trash. I agree.
Okay, ito for me, yung after yung 8 and 9, honestly, parang you're just watching it for me personally, you're just watching it for nostalgia. Gusto mo lang makita si Harrison Ford na nandun. Si Luke. Parang nangyari sa akin, ganun lang. Gusto ko lang sila makita sa screen.
The first
Yung dugo ko, tsaka na natin pag-usapan.
Pag-usapan yan.
Let's save this. Ang dami ko lang sasabihin. Star Wars discussion.
Kayo sa comments mga pre kung trip kayo Star Wars episode.
Kung trip yung Star Wars episodes. Just madami. I mean, like in this movie itself. Speaking of, kanya gusto ko lang mag-add. Hindi ko rin talaga mag-gets. Bakit si Man of Steel ayaw ng mga tao? Tutig na maganda siya.
Actually,
Maganda siya. I mean,
Pare, enjoy ko siya.
Ako, Carl, I think it's because I think the majority of people that do hate Superman are the older people. Honestly, I think that the supporters of the Man of Steel are actually yung generation natin and mga Gen X. I think it's the older people that don't like this Superman is because nasanay sila rin sa Superman before. Na sobrang light-hearted, na feel good, alam mo yun. Pero alam mo yun, personally speaking, I'm not trying to speak on behalf of you guys, pero for me personally speaking, tangina, it's so hard to be a good man today because it's so hard to live today compared to before. I don't know, alam mo yun, na parang
that's true.
And now that have Superman, which is in Henry Cavill, yung Man of Steel, that has all the power in the world, yet he still does the right thing. It's inspirational for me to see that because he operates in gray areas, unlike before na black and white lang.
Yeah.
That's what yun lang yung sabihin ko.
Pero pinabayaan nga niyang mamatay yung tatay niya Just for that single dignity, gago. Para lang mapatunayan sa mga tao na tangin hindi pa sila ready, gago.
Holy shit, pare. Sobrang 100%.
Ang wild tungkol din sa yung pinatay niya si Zod. Kasi marami rin tao na
Mismo pare, mismo. Parang, exactly, parang
ano pa gagawin mo?
Exactly, yung Superman natin, quote-unquote, sa generation natin today, which is Henry Cavill, operates in gray areas. And I think we need more inspirational figures, even though that they are very fictional, like superheroes and comic book figures. To touch on topics like that because tangina pare, honestly it's so cynical right now in the world, especially right now. This was before pandemic and before the yes that's happening right now, but especially now that a lot of this thing is happening, it's so hard. That's why I'm a big fan of the Marvel series, yung WandaVision tsaka yung Falcon and the Winter Soldier, kasi they touch
another day we'll talk about
you should watch it. Just like Superman, just like Man of Steel, they touched a lot of gray areas before on where we all operate right now, and really inspirational na to see our heroes, superheroes, very vulnerable with what we face every day, such as injustices, corruption, gray areas. Basically, alam mo yun, it's more difficult right now. It's so much more inspirational to see fictional heroes that is so close to our hearts that actually tackle topics like that because it inspires us to do better. All have the excuse to do worse right now, no offense. That's just my opinion. You can quote me on that. Alam mo, unfortunately, we all have the fucking excuse to do worse right now. Pwede tayo magpaka-trapo, pwede tayo magpaka-BS and all that. We can fucking sell out our friends just to earn a living. And a lot of people are doing that right now, which somehow I can't blame them also because tangina, you have a family to feed, you have to feed yourself, or you have dreams. I can't blame you. Pero that's basically the point. Even though that I can't blame you, that's still not right. We need some people, we need some inspirational figures that can show us na even though doing things difficult is still the right thing. Alam mo yun? Diba, parang there's still a big difference between doing what's right. I mean, doing what's easy and doing what's right. Alam mo yun?
Diba, parang kung isipin mo ganong klaseng superhero, diba? Lahat kaya niya lang gawin tapos sa pili niya pa rin gawin yung kailangan niyang gawin, diba? Yung tama.
Pare. By the way, pare, speaking of this topic, pwede natin to ipasok kay Cyborg. That's why I like his character in this movie as well.
Ang ganda na segue.
Diba? Ang galing kasi
let's talk about
diba,
Cyborg.
Pare,
Tara.
Let's talk about Cyborg kasi honestly, pare, Cyborg from this movie is so much more different from the theatrical cut.
Layo, man.
Sobra.
Sobrang layo. Like, parang, what
Oo.
the fuck? Tangina, layo talaga. Kasi like, parang, gago, man. Parang, literal. For me, si Cyborg, biglang naging cast member siya. To think na dati, parang talent extra lang siya. Parang nandun lang siya. Parang gago pa
Sorry.
lang siya, gago.
True story.
Kaya pala galit na galit yung act.
Actually, tama ka. Kaya galit na galit si Ray Fisher.
Yes. And
Pero-
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, parang sinabotad sila doon, gago. Pero, ang galing. Kasi ito, for me, personally, si Cyborg, pag inisip mo, ang maiisip mo lagi Teen Titans.
Actually.
Yes.
So, Teen Titans Yun ang maiisip mo There were,
Yes.
dalawang Teen Titans ang maiisip mo. Yung one is yung medyo adult sila na lumabas na movie, and the second was Teen Titans Go. Which is basically lagi na
Yes.
siya laugh trip, di ba? Pero ito, dito, natuwa ako kay Cyborg kasi pinakita na Cyborg is really powerful. He's motherfucking powerful.
Hawak niya yung buong mundo.
And ito talaga,
True
pinakita,
story.
and
True
for the
story.
first time,
Yes.
live action, I mean ito, si Cyborg kasi in my opinion is one of lesser known characters in
Sobra.
the DC universe.
Sobra.
But with this movie, pinakita nila na pare, gago part siya na kumbaga yung parang top tiers ng mga DC characters talaga. He's not the supporting character na Teen Titans na patawa-tawa lang siya doon sa Teen Titans Go. I mean, let's say na he started Teen Titans in the comics, but now in the new the new reboots, ginagawa na talaga siyang original member ng Justice League.
Ng Justice League.
Actually,
Which is sobrang for me na parang okay, this is really nice na nabibigyan ng mainstream attention ng isang character na
Agree, pare.
hindi normally napapansin.
At saka pare, ang galing ng ginawa nila dito kay Cyborg sa movie to, no? Parang nakakagulat na if you compare this movie compared dun sa theatrical cut, parang yung role pala ni Cyborg, siya pala yung puso ng movie, di ba? Surprise, pare.
Sa kanya nag-revolve, gago. Kaya, I mean, I don't blame the wife of Zack Snyder na sinabi niya, don't watch it, it's gonna break your heart, Zack. Gago kasi it does. I mean,
Yun din sinabi nila Christopher Nolan pre sa kanya, 'di ba? Yung ang mission ni Christopher Nolan, wag ipapanood kay Zack Snyder yung yung Joss Whedon cut min. Sa
Yes.
gagawin nila lahat daw para harangan yun, para hindi daw mapanood min. Sabi ni Christopher Nolan.
gago.
Ano ka lang?
Tayo na para geto yan, pare. Imagine mo nagluto ka ng adobo. Pukutang ina ang ginawa nilang luto, hindi mo maintindihan. Ginawa nilang paksiw. Parang ang sakit, gago. Diba? Tayo na. Creation mo, recipe mo, adobo. Tapos tangina, lumabas na pagkain, paksiw lang. Kasi ka parang, what the fuck?
Masarap din yan, pero puta
Gago.
hindi yan hiningi ko min.
Diba, pare? Sobra. So, ang galing lang talaga ng pagkakagawa nila kay Cyborg doon. Tas,
Sobra, pare.
grabe.
Can I just see yung scene na pinarami niya yung pera ng babae? Gusto ko gawin niya rin yun sa akin, pare.
Man, dahil doon, gusto ko siya gawin tropa. Alam mo, parang, oy, tayo na, Cyborg, tropa tayo.
Gusto ko siya sa Facebook.
Uminom ka ba?
Yun yung nakakatawa kasi diba, pinarami niya yung pera ng babae na parang hindi niya pagmumukhaing nanakaw lang ng babae yung pera, diba?
Oh, actually.
Prize.
Yeah. Ang galing, gago. Sobrang, I mean,
And just from that scene, pare, ang galing ng scene na yun kasi iksing time, pinakita nila sa audience na ito yung puso ni Cyborg. Ganito siyang tao. Alam mo
Exactly.
yun? Yung tipong he has the power to, yun na nga, he has the power to launch all the nukes, to put the global economy in crisis. Pero anong ginawa niya? May pinunod lang siyang isang babae na alam mo yun, na gustong tulungan, tapos tinulungan niya, yun lang.
Yes.
Kasi hindi nga siya binigyan ng billion. Like binigyan lang niya ng 100,000. Para lang, alam mo yun, because he still cares about the effects of that. Alam mo yun, yung connectivity nung pag kumuha ka ng pera ng ganun. Connectivity magbabagsakan kasi iba nun. Pag ginawa lang niya yung maliit, just enough to help this girl. So it really showed the audience na parang Cyborg, although godlike, 'di ba? Parang at his heart is still a true human, alam mo yun.
yeah, tama. Ang ganda ng point
Tama.
na yun kasi I think same siya kung nangyari sa Man of Steel. He was mad. I mean, like, Cyborg was really mad with himself, with his dad. He was basically mad and he has this, kumbaga, let's say, bad mindset, but yet he still chose to do something good. Di ba yung
Yes.
tayo nagwawala ka sa buong buhay mo, tapos ang unang experiment na ginawa mo, tumulong sa tao. Tangin na, di ba? Di ba
Yes, good point.
Kaya
Really
kung
good
ikaw
point.
nagwawala ka, tangin na siguro baka may pinasabog kang isang bansa. Let's say kahit sabihin mong, let's say lang example, Taliban area. Alam mo kung saan yung area. Tangin na pwede ka mag-drop ng nuke doon. But he didn't choose to do that. He chose to actually hit a person. Di ba? So, ang ganda nung pinakita nila.
Ang ganda ng point mo, pare. That's true. Ang ganda ng point mo. Totoo, pare. As in, he started to, instead of, kasi he had the power to change everything. And instead of trying to destroy a part of the world, he had the power to do it. Instead of trying to destroy, he tried to help instead. So it really showed a good heart of who his character is.
Totoo. Ganda. Ganda yun. Medyo nabitin lang ako kay The Flash. But then again, kasi magkakaroon ng The Flash movie. So feeling ko, nakakabitin lang yung moments ni Flash. Kasi, I mean, mas gusto, ako kasi fan ako ni Flash din. So gusto mo mas madami kang makita. But then again, feeling ko kaya medyo limited lang. Kasi it was supposed to be a Justice League movie and the heart was Cyborg. And I'm pretty sure, madami silang plan supposedly back then for the Flash movie. So,
Yung role ni Flash sa movie ko, hindi ko in-expect na ang laki ng binago sa ginawa niya doon sa theatrical cut.
Actually,
to this
sa
movie.
character.
Holy shit, kasi although I'm a very casual DC follower, alam mo, I don't really know a lot of stuff going on. Although, alam mo, one thing that I do know is that I know that the Flash has the power to fuck with time, di ba? And also, I'm also barely aware of the Flashpoint element because I have other friends that talk to me about that. Tapos, I'm surprised that in this movie, tinotch na nila yung topic na yun that, hey, the Flash can actually do this. Element. That because it shows me na they trust the fans. They trust the audience na magigets nito. Alam mo yun, hindi kayo mata-turn off sa idea na to na this is how powerful this character is.
yeah.
So, ang galing na, kasi yung time mo sa ending, can we talk spoilers, diba? We can.
We could.
We can.
Actually.
Wait lang.
Sige.
Bago ko sabihin yung spoilers, pre, wait lang. Watch yung yung audio daw natin, nag-e-echo daw kaming tatlo.
Yeah, nag-echo daw tayo, yung sinasabi sa akin.
Wait, so nag-echo
Oh,
tayo.
Yung audio daw yung bago tayo pumunta sa spoilers. Pero actually, gusto ko rin pag-usapan kasi Flash. But may mga issues ako kay Flash. I-bring up ko. Ayusin lang natin. Pero bago habang inaayos ni paring Watch yung magte-take over muna ako saglit. Pag muna natin yung mga yung comment section natin, mga pre.
Yes, pare. What's up?
May mga
Hi guys! Thank you for watching, guys. Sana nag-enjoy kayo dito sa conversation namin about Justice League and the Snyderverse.
Sabi daw nila magandang gabi daw, mga pre. Sabi nga nun ni paring Harley, magandang gabi din, men.
What's up, Harley?
Tapos si paring TJ Trajano, shared na mga papi, sabi niya.
Oy, TJ, basta pare? What's up, TJ?
Batchmate.
Sabi ni paring Ron yun na. Yung mga tropa natin na nag-stay. Maraming salamat sa pag-stick dito sa aming kwentuhan ng Justice League. So, huwag kayong mahiya, mga pre. Para sa mga tropa natin dyan sa chat, mag-ask away lang kayo dyan sa chat. Kung gusto nyo linawin sa Snyder Cut. Pag-usapan natin dito natin pagkwentuhan to. Kung ayaw nyo, kung galit kayo sa Snyder Cut, hindi nyo murahin yung movie na yan. Pag-usapan natin dito yan. Pre, huwag kayong mahiya.
Oo, totoo. Let's talk about it.
Ayun na pala isa nating kasama, si Brody Gaming sa chat na.
Ayan na, sabi ni paring Brody Gaming pa shoutout daw. Malit na bagay yan, tol. Shoutout naman sa'yo, paring Nico. Ayun na. Actually, dapat si paring
Shout out.
Kasama dapat natin.
Kasama na si Nico Pau.
Pero hindi niya napanood yung half lang ng movie na panood niya. So masyado mahaba. Pero next time makakasama natin siya para sa episode 2. Kamusta ka pa rin, Watch? Okay naman, ha?
Okay na. So, ang gagawin ko lang, papatayin ko yung audio ko habang nagsasalita ka kasi feeling ko nag-e-echo sa side ko eh. So, yun, nakita ko na.
Okay. Sabi ni paring Brody daw, so ano nangyari kay Thanos, tsaka kailan babalik sa Iron Man? Putang ina, ibang podcast yung pinapanood mo, man.
Iba nga yun. Ano yun? Justice League sa Pornhub yun, gago.
Okay, anyway, sorry to cut you off, pare. Kasi yun nga sinabi daw.
Ano yan, pare? Justice League yun, pare.
Pwede.
Pwede. Anyway, tol, sorry, nakakat natin. Ano yung pag-usapan natin yung sa ending, yung kay Flash?
The Flash.
The Flash show. Oh,
Si Paring Migo, ano ba yung point mo kanina?
Hindi, ano lang, yung point ko lang kanina is that I'm surprised na, actually hindi surprised, I'm surprised na pinakita nila yun kagad, and I'm also happy that they trusted the audience to show the Flash in a certain light, that he is that strong, that he can be, alam mo, ganun yung impact niya. Kasi nagulat ako nun yung, di ba, yun nga, spoiler alert, yung tangina, yung hindi siya umabot kasi binaril siya nung sobrang sniper na para-demon.
Kasi hayop na yun, no?
Sobra parang, uy, gago. Puta, get that man raised. Tangina kasi, nasira na yung buong mundo eh. Actually, nagulat ako nun. Parang, paano nila ayusin to? Kasi me being a casual fan, I don't really know how Flash works. Alam mo, parang saka also at the same time, I didn't really expect that they would input Flash's power that way right now in this movie. Kasi ang aga eh. Parang ang aga sa pakiramdam ko. Tapos ginawa nila na parang gago.
Same.
Binalik ni The Flash yung time by, alam mo, by doing his power with the Speed Force. And I was so surprised pare na ginawa nila yun, and sobrang pleasant surprise siya for me. Lalo na as a casual fan, parang and alam mo yun, parang as a Marvel fan also, I was so surprised to see that in a movie. Kasi sa Marvel parang hindi nangyayari yun eh. Alam mo yun? Especially tapos for me to see that play out in a DC movie, in a superhero movie, parang ako like, oh shit. Parang for me, as it's so fresh for me to see that in a movie. So ang galing for me.
Ako din, same, siguro masabi ko dun sa yung kay Flash, parang natuwa ako dun sa, pinakita yung showcase yung powers siya ng yung time traveling gamit yung Speed Force, di ba? Pero ang issue ko lang dun, na sinabi ko na rin to dati kay Watch nung una namin na pag-usapan to, tsaka kay paring Silver J. Masyado yun nga, pares tayo ng feeling. Parang hindi pa na nila dapat pinakita to kasi parang wala pang build up para ipakita yung powers niya. Para
Right.
So parang yun yung naiisip ko lang, parang masyadong maaga. Gets ko na mabilis siya, gets ko na malakas siya. Alam ko na from the comic na kaya niyang gawin yun. Pero parang feeling ko hindi ba dapat ito yung tamang oras para ipakita na ganun siya kalakas. Kasi puta, to manipulate time, gago sobrang lakas mo na nun, men. Kahit ano pwede mo nang gawin. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Parang kumbaga hindi mo na pala kailangan yung buong Justice League. Parang pwede mo na gawin, pwede mo na unahan lahat ng kailangan mo unahan para manalo kayo, parang ganun. So, yun lang, doon lang ako medyo na kay Flash. Pero overall, again, kung compare natin to dun sa dating character development kay Flash. Kasi dun sa unang Justice League na Flash, sobrang duwag niya pare.
Actually,
Yes.
Oh man,
Yes.
kasi like, parang ginawa siyang baguhan dun.
Oh man, gets ko yung noob ka. Okay lang na hindi ka nakikipaglaban. Walang kaso yun. Gets ko yun. Pero gago, never naging duwag si Flash dito sa movie na to. Dito pinakita na bago siya. Hindi siya magaling na ipaglaban. Pero hindi siya duwag. Doon sa
Good point.
segment, duwag siya, pre. Ang layo. Di ba yung scene na kinidnap yung mga tao? Parang nag-uusap sila ni Batman doon sa unang
Yes.
na parang hindi ako naipaglaban, tinutulak ko na para kinakabahan na siya doon, di ba?
Parang yung save one, sinabi niya.
Yeah, that one.
Batman, di ba? Tapos
just push people away.
dito, sobrang nag-iba yung character ni Flash na yun pa rin siya relief pa din. Pero yung personality niya, men, hindi siya yung duwag hanggang pagdating doon sa dulo na binago niya yung time, yung ni-rewind niya yung time. Parang sinabi niya pa sa sarili niya na parang kausap niya yung tatay niya na I want you to know that your son is one of the best of the best. Parang nagkaroon siya ng ng level ng pride sa sarili niya na inakaya ko iligtas tong buong mundo. Parang
totoo pare. Sobrang na-appreciate ko yung moment na yun pare. Sobra.
Ang layo pre, kaya yun yung nagustuhan ko. Pero yun lang naman yung issue ko kay Flash. Pero kung iisipin mo, gago, mapangis talaga kung anong ginawa niya sa movie. Pero yun lang naman. Ako lang naman yun.
Pati yung itsura niya doon sa nightmare scene, sobrang angas niya. Yun, parang ang wild ng itsura niya doon. Grabe yung armor niya doon.
Okay. Ikaw, paring Watch.
Yun. So, I think na-tackle naman natin lahat ng kailangan natin tackle today. Well, meron pa ba kayong mga question? Ano ba mga normally frequently asked questions sa inyo ng mga tao na hopefully meron tayo. Kasi sa comment section natin, wala naman nag-comment ng questions eh. Hopefully, I was asking. I think, feeling ko, dapat pa nagtanong tayo kahapon kung ano yung mga gusto nilang itanong sa atin. Which is hindi natin nagawa. But then again,
mag-reserve tayo sa susunod episode ng Q&A section natin. Pero,
okay, but yun nga, not bad for a first episode. So, okay lang naman. Di ba?
isa sa mga itatanong, pre, kailangan ko pa ba panoorin yung unang Justice League? Tapos, eto.
Maganda.
Hell no, isang napakalaking no. Hindi mo na kailangan
That's a no.
panoorin.
That's a no. In terms of papanoorin, I would suggest katulad ng ginawa ko, watch Man of Steel and then the BVS Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate Cut.
Yeah, the Ultimate Cut kasi mas kompleto yun. Then watch the Snyder Cut. Yun ang ma-recommend ko sa ating mga viewers and sa mga tao na nag-aas. Oh, last, ito pala, meron pala tayong topic na hindi na-tackle. Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter. Nakalimutan natin si Martian Manhunter.
Bro, wait lang. Sorry Puta, sobrang...
Go ahead.
Nagulat ka ba din?
Go.
Kausap ko si Silver J habang nanonood ako, yung scene na yung kay Martha, yung bigla siya nag-shape-shift papuntang Martian Manhunter. May napatigaw ako, pre. Yung 12-year-old kong kapatid na katabi ko narinig na nagbumura ng malakas kasi nakita si Martian Manhunter. Pero ang nakakatawa lang doon. Parang shinare ko tong meme na to kagabi, na nakita ko na, pucha, parang may audacity ka na sabihin kay Batman na I got your back. Samantalang 3 movies ago, puta, ang dami ng trahedyang nangyari, sasabihin mo.
Kita ko yung meme na yun.
Yeah, nakita ko rin yun.
Tama dun, pre.
Gago, imagine mo yung Metropolis, nandun siya. Gago, sinisira Metropolis, nandun siya sa war room, gago. Itsura niya parang problema lang siya, pero wala siyang ginawa.
Sasabihin mong, tangina, pre, I got you.
Ulul!
Or
kayo, kay Martian Manhunter. Pero natuwa ako, good surprise. Sobrang saya ko nandun siya. Kayo.
Ano ba?
Ikaw, Chu.
Silver J,
Ano yun? Martian Manhunter? Sakto lang. Or baka naiisip ko na parang kung kailan lang siya kung kailan lang niya pinalitan si yung general. Kaya siguro, possible. Mga theories na gano'n.
Hindi, pero BVS na siya nung general siya, nung kinausap siya ni Superman.
Yeah, that's what I heard also.
Hindi ko narinig.
Actually, may points yun, si Silver J. Kasi may nagsasabi na may mga theories na lumalabas on the internet. Even, I think, one of the old production ni Zack Snyder didn't really have the plan for Martian Manhunter until people were trying to make a fan theory out of it. So, it wasn't really original. Kasi ito, yung last scene with Batman, the Batman scene, the original plan of Zack Snyder was actually Kilowog. Kaya si Kilowog was in the whole movie. It was supposed to be a Green Lantern. Ang original plan. But the problem was, ayaw gamitin ni WB si Green Lantern that time kasi they were still trying to make a Green Lantern. Green Lantern movie which was supposedly launched dapat 2022. Dapat ang re-release nung time na yun. But the problem was, wala rin silang kinakast na member as Hal Jordan, as Jon Stewart, or anyone from the So the original plan was supposed to be Kilowog. Si Kilowog yung lalapit sa...
That's great insight, by the way. That's good insight.
Kay Batman for that scene. But then, I think may nabasa rin akong theory, tama yung sabi ni Chu, na the reason kung ba't biglang naging si Martian Manhunter nag-release doon was because of the fan theory, and also, I think Zack Snyder loved the idea for Henry to actually there. Parang
I love the idea also. I mean, nakakatawa nga na, alam mo yun, na ang dami nangyari bago siya nagpakita na, uy pare, tropa niyo ako
Diba? Kaya,
parang gago ka ba? Meron kami 4 na suntukan, nandun ka lang nakatayo. Umiinom.
Doon sa Man of Steel, diba? Doon sa BVS, ninuk mo, kung ako si Superman, tangina mo, ninuk mo ko, pwede mo naman pala akong tulungan. Binomba niyo ako na nuclear kung pwede ka naman pala tumulong.
Hayop ka, hindi ka dumating.
Dadating ka lang kung kailang tapos na lahat. So, it's yun. So, pero for me, natutuwa din ako kasi, I mean, Martian Manhunter, if you think about it. Well, there is a live-action Martian Manhunter in Supergirl series. Yeah, lumabas siya doon. So, I think medyo exciting lang. But to see him on the screen with the Justice League, that's, well, sa akin exciting.
Sobrang solid.
To think na lumaki ako with Justice League animated series. So, yun.
By the way, guys,
Ay, sorry.
Oh yeah, di ba he's there?
Yeah,
Oh,
Ryan.
Yung
Si
doctor
Ryan,
na
right?
Asian. Yung Asian.
Ryan
Yeah.
Chung.
Yun eh, pero hindi ko alam ba't yun yung kinas nila, yung choice nila as Atom. Pero ano yun pare, sorry Migo. Ano yun?
Sorry.
Ay hindi, ano lang, parang naisip ko lang na I really think na Warner Brothers should push Snyderverse right now, pare. Kasi tanga na pare, ito isipin nyo Dude, Marvel is done. Tapos na Endgame. Sino hinahabol nila? DC and Warner Brothers are not, wala na silang kailangang habulin. Wala na silang timeline.
Tama.
Kasi I think yun yung naging fault, yun yung naging mistake ng Warner Brothers before, tsaka ng DC Universe before, is that they're trying to chase after Marvel's momentum, wherein they really couldn't, hindi nila kaya talaga habulin yun. Because like, as we touched on earlier, tangina pare, parang 2008 nagsimula Marvel, tapos DC just tried to do it like nung
5 years later.
diba? Man of Steel with Man of Steel. So I think now is the perfect time for Warner Brothers to push the button on the Snyderverse because ano nang hinahabol nila? Marvel is still wala pa nga sinisimulan yung Marvel eh. Nasa series pa lang yung Marvel ngayon eh. Nasa WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier sila.
Actually.
And then next year pa lang ata lalabas yung Multiverse of Madness. So, and even that is the first movie of another new phase of Marvel. So, diba? So, DC does not have, diba? Bagong build-up. So, now is parang may power vacuum na nangyari na parang wala na yung Marvel eh. No, even casual audiences aren't really waiting for anything Marvel. And I think right now, Warner Brothers should take advantage of the momentum that the Snyder Cut started. Because it's the talk of the town. Everyone has seen it. Everyone loves it. Everyone likes it. Very little people hates it. Everyone wants more of it. And then they also have the option of the streaming wars na yung Snyderverse kahit ituloy na lang nila sa HBO tapos yung mga solo movies nila.
Madami manonood yun.
Diba? I-release nila sa theaters. Then, I think this is just the perfect time for Warner Brothers. Yung sinabi nila na Warner Brothers is not gonna push forward with Snyderverse. I think, ano lang yun, parang yun yung unang press release siguro. And hopefully. Kasi tangina pare, if they are actually final with that, they're leaving money on the table because a lot of people want this to happen. A lot of people want this to happen because wala na yung Marvel. Marvel is done. Marvel is trying to build something new. And we're not even sure if people are gonna diba, we're not even sure if people are gonna like this thing that Marvel is building. Kasi tangina pare, Captain America's not there, Iron Man is not there, Thor is older, everyone else is gone. Parang, why should the audience care? Diba? Marvel has a lot to lose in this new phase wherein DC has a lot to gain because their main cast that everyone loves is still there. In fact, a lot of people are still clamoring for it because nangyari na nga yung Snyder Cut tapos ka-cancel nila. Sayang pare. Now is really a good time for them to push forward. Now is really the good time for them to push forward kasi walang papalag. Walang Marvel. Walang competition. If they really
input, yeah.
sabihin lang nila na, oy, Snyderverse is still gonna push forward in HBO Max. Boom! Wala. Lahat kahit mga Marvel fans doon manonood. Honestly.
Totoo.
Diba? So, they should. Sobrang bad idea na ika-cancel nila yun.
And to think, Snyderverse is basically just a 5-movie. It's basically just a 5-movie arc. So, if you have 3 already, dalawa na lang kailangan lang gawin eh. Because Zack Snyder doesn't really want to do like yung... the good thing about the Snyderverse for me is, hindi naman yata hinahabol si Marvel in the sense na, gawa tayo ng 2 decades worth of movie. Ang sa kanya is I wanna create a story in 5 movies and that's it. Whatever you wanna do, Warner Brothers. Kasi like I said, the whole reason of the nightmare scene, yung basically parang gagawin ng Flashpoint din eh. So after the whole plan was after Justice League 3, you still have a DC Universe continuum. It's just that wala na si Zack Snyder. The characters na iiwan niya doon, kaya na bahala doon. I think the only major difference, if I'm not mistaken sa nabasa ko, is si Batman lang mawawala. dun after ng
I
Justice
heard,
League.
I heard he's gonna die now. No?
Yeah, he's gonna die. So ang whole plan kasi technically ang whole plan ni Zack Snyder was to kill the trilogy, the Trinity, which is Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman in his arc. So Superman died already. Next is Wonder Woman, which is supposed to happen in Justice League Part 2. And then Part 3, which is technically permanent death, is Batman talaga. Kasi ang alam ko, ang plano, ang supposedly plan was, di ba nga, Batwoman was supposed to show in the Batman versus Deathstroke. Let's call it that na lang. Yung sa movie dapat ni Ben Affleck with Joe, I forgot his name. Anyway,
Joe Manganiello.
yeah, so si Batwoman ang lalabas doon. So I think Batwoman, and then, if I'm not mistaken, they already casted a Supergirl. So I think the next continuum was going to be Supergirl and Batgirl. Sorry, not Batwoman, Batgirl. So that was the original plan. That's why Batman is supposed to die in Justice League Part 5. He would make the ultimate sacrifice, pero magko-continue na doon. Ang next Bat family is I think Batgirl. Kasi nga dahil sa
I want to see that.
yeah, yun nga. Dahil sa universe na to, si Dick Grayson is dead. Kasi 'di ba siya yung ano eh. Dick Grayson is the Robin na pinatay sa universe na to eh. So I don't think we'll see another Robin.
Bold move, gago, bold move.
Bold move yun, yeah. To think na
Si Dick Grayson, man.
Dick Grayson is a fan favorite. So, sobrang wild. Grabe, I mean like, I think we've pretty much talked about all the topic that we should talk about, no? I mean like, pinsan ko pa nag-comment, Enzo, hello! Solid convo daw, guys. So, yun, pinsan ko
Guys,
siya.
thank you.
Thank you, Enzo.
Yeah, so, guys, kung sino pa yung mga viewers namin dyan, if you have any more questions, this is the time. Just type in your questions right now.
Nasa
And-
time and dami.
Oo nga eh. So, yeah, type
nga
in kung may questions pa kayo regarding yung Snyderverse, meron ba kayong gusto malaman.
Ito guys, habang wala pang question.
Oh, ito, may
kung meron
question, sorry.
kayong
Sorry, may
Injustice
question na lumabas ngayon. Injustice. Technically, the nightmare scene is inspired by the Injustice storyline. So, yun. Migo, are you familiar with the Injustice storyline?
Yung ba yung sa game?
Sa game, yeah.
Sa video game. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
So, yeah, yun. Sa
By
storyline
the way,
to,
pare, sobrang squatter ko, pare. Hindi ako bumibili ng consoles. Ang ginagawa ko pag may bagong game, pinapanood ko yung buong cutscene sa YouTube.
cutscenes, yeah! No joke, pwede. Actually, ganun lang naman eh.
May suggestion ako, men.
O siya, pare.
Kasi since streamer ako, panoorin mo yung page ko, tapos lalaroin ko dun yung laro. para
Yan,
sa'yo.
tama. Mas maganda. Mas maganda. Tama yun, tama.
G, pare. G.
Ang gandang plug nun ah.
Steve vlog
Tama naman. So guys, pag meron kayong mga games na feeling nyo di tinatamad kayong laruin or like might as well suggest na lang sa amin. Kami na mag-stream para sa inyo, di ba? O, nonood na lang kayo.
Oo, guys. Or kung meron kayo ibang movies na gustong isuggest, pare, you can go check out Flick Friends, pare. Which is my channel wherein I review other movies other than superhero movies. So kung gusto nyo, if you want to see my perspective on other movies and series, you can just check that out also.
Yeah, Migo, I gotta say, ito lang, yung Flick Friends, men, pag may movie, tapos alam ko na parang alam kong papanoorin mo din, gagawin na ba ako review mo sa Facebook, tol? Kaya ako,
Pare, may suggestion ako sa'yo. Pare, may pinanood ako movie, pare, tungkol sa mga stripper, pare, recently. Si J-Lo, pare. Pare, maganda siya, pare. As in, may substance yung story niya, pare.
Panoorin natin. Hello yan eh.
Sobrang okay siya, pare.
Yan ba yung hold up sila?
Hindi, ang ginagawa nila, so basically, stripper sila, yung mga customer nila, dinadrug nila, tapos pag hindi na sila functional, kinukuha nila yung credit card, tapos kung ano-anong binibili rin sa bar. Kasi doon sila nagtatrabaho sa bar, tapos may cut sila. Sobrang wild doon,
Parang
pare.
hindi ko nangyayari sa totoong buhay, puta.
Sure yun, pare.
Anyway, mga pre, ano ba next episode natin watch?
Next episode natin, we'll talk about Baby King Kong. King Kong. Baka yun, King Kong vs. Monsters yan. So,
King Kong versus what? Or
Godzilla pala, sorry. Godzilla vs. King Kong. King Kong vs. Monsters. Sorry. Basically, this is the Snyderverse. We'll talk about the Monsterverse on our next episode.
Yeah.
Nice.
So next episode natin
So,
is
yun.
Monday.
Hopefully, we'll schedule it. Actually, either Monday or Tuesday ngayon, naghahanap pa kami ng scheduling for everyone na makasama. So, we'll see kung kailan yun. But guys, just stay tuned. We'll have more streams of, we'll have more talks with this Tambayang Talong. And thank you so much, Flick Friends, Migo, for joining us. And guys, don't forget.
Thank you. Thank you din, pare. Sobrang na-appreciate ko to, pare. I really had fun.
Oh,
Kasi
babalik pa
wala
tayo.
Usually, wala akong kausap tungkol sa mga ganitong bagay, pare. Kausap ko lang aso ko, eh. Alam mo?
Oh, di kayo, may kausap ka na, gago. Okay lang, mukha rin naman kami aso eh. Ganun ba yun? Joke. De, pero yeah. So, Migo, next time, we'll invite you again. Definitely, magbabalik pa tayo for another Tambayang Talong. And guys, you can see our handle on the left side of your screen. So guys, that's our handle. Please do follow us. So we got Ivander's Watch, Silver J, and Flick Friends. Yun.
Let's go!
I guess that's it, guys. So thank you guys for
para
joining.
tayo yung Justice League, pare. Tayo yung Justice League ngayon, pare.
Oh, si Chu, si Wonder Woman. Chu, pakita mo naman yung cleavage mo. Pakita mo naman yung cleavage mo, Chu.
Ano papakita? Sorry.
Yung cleavage mo, pakita mo.
Para tumaas yung viewers natin, pre.
Oo nga, mali na ba kayo?
Inaalay ako
Well, yun. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Ivander, Silver J, and Flick Friends. I'll see you guys again soon, alright?
Thank you, guys.
So guys, thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya, guys.
Thank you. Salamat.